May 1st is International Workers' Day, and marches are planned across the country, and one of the biggest is happening here in L.A.
CBS 2's Tina Patel is live in MacArthur Park, where the May Day rallies have already started. We could hear the chanting, Tina.
Yeah, and this is the first of what we expect to be many rallies throughout the course of the day. I'll step out of the way and you can see that they are already awake and energetic. Now, the group that's gathered here says today is both a day of celebration, but also a call to action, because even though they've had success over the years getting more rights for workers and immigrants, they say there is more to do. Now, take a look at the crowds we saw last year. It was a peaceful group, and organizers are hoping it will be that way again this year. They're expecting as many as 5,000 people to turn out, representing more than 70 different unions and community groups. Local nurses will be here, making sure everyone stays hydrated and safe, and also talking about how important unions are in their industry.
It's a hard concept to understand, especially for young workers, I think, and for young nurses. It's really hard to understand what a union can do for you and patient care.
Now, if you work or live downtown, you're going to want to plan ahead, because there are folks not only here right now, there's going to be the larger march and rally this afternoon. That all starts around 3 p.m. here at MacArthur Park, and the crowd will make their way over to Grand Park. There's also going to be a march in Boyle Heights, so you'll want to plan for that as well. Live in downtown, Tina Patel, CBS 2 News.
Thank you, Tina.
Workers' Day, which highlights worker victories and their right to unionize. Today, the May Day Coalition is holding a march and rally. Kicks off in less than an hour at 5 a.m. at MacArthur Park. If you missed this one, there's another one at 3 p.m. May Day has shared a date with International Workers' Day since the 1880s.
Labor unions and activists around the world are marching and rallying in recognition of May Day.
Yeah, their goal is to call attention to the rights of workers and immigrants. Lynette Romero live in LA's Westlake District, where a rally is happening right now. Lynette, good morning.
Good morning, Megan and Chris. This is one of many events going on across the country and also here in LA. You can see many of them got here before the sun came up this morning. We're right on the corner of 6th and Parkview at MacArthur Park. Now, this is what they're calling the Daybreak Rally. And this is also where the march this afternoon will begin. They will leave here at 3 o'clock and they're going to march to Grand Park in downtown LA. Organizers say the original May Day was an international worker celebration more than 130 years ago. Now, this year's theme is LA's People Power, and the participants will be here to support a number of issues, including union rights, workers' rights, voting rights, and an end to immigrant persecution. Joining me now is Monique Hernandez. You are a nurse, and you are here representing nurses.
Yes.
Your first time taking part in a May Day event. What do you think? What are you expecting? Why are you here?
I'm here with SEIU 121 RN. It's our second time here, and we're providing first aid to the marchers, and we're just here to show solidarity to union workers, non-union workers, and how important it is for California. California sets the bar as far as unions and workers' rights, and we as California nurses, we also set the bar for nurses across the nation with our ratio laws and everything that we have as nurses.
Now, you're expecting dozens of your fellow nurses to take part. Is this something that you think, a lot of times we've seen nurses might picket when they have their own issues, but this is bigger than that, right?
This is a lot bigger than that. You have workers fighting for basic worker rights. So we as nurses come together and we support them.
All right. Thank you so much. We appreciate you talking with us, Monique. Again, there will be a lot of people from different walks of life, different professions. They will all be taking part in the events. It actually starts at 3 o'clock here at MacArthur Park, and that's where they will begin their march. And then they will march to Grand Park in downtown Los Angeles. That starts at 3 o'clock this afternoon. Reporting live from MacArthur Park, I'm Lynette Romero. Back to you.
All right, Lynette, thank you. We are
here in Southern California. Labor unions and activists have been taking to the streets for marches and rallies of their own. They hope to call attention to the rights of workers and immigrants. KTLA's Lynette Romero live in the Westlake District, where a huge rally is expected later today. Lynette, good morning.
Good morning, Frank. They are expecting thousands of people to attend the May Day celebrations and demonstrations here at MacArthur Park. We're right on the corner of Parkview and 6th Avenue. And they got started here at MacArthur Park first thing this morning before the sun came up. They called it the Daybreak Rally and said it was one last push to encourage people to become involved. The original May Day was an international workers' celebration more than 130 years ago. Now, this year's theme is LA People's Power, and the participants will be here to support a number of issues, including union rights, workers' rights, voting rights, and an end to immigrant persecution. Now, we talked with some of the participants this morning about why they're here and what they hope to accomplish.
We saw that when people come together, changes can happen. And with that said, we want to continue to harvest that solidarity, celebrating International Workers' Day, but then also highlighting the issues that we are dealing with now with the current administration.
And we're providing first aid to the marchers. And we're just here to show solidarity to union workers, non-union workers.
Now, many different industries will be represented by the people who will be at the demonstration. There are other demonstrations all over Southern California, Long Beach, Boyle Heights, as well as obviously all of the demonstrations going on across the country. Coming back out here live again this afternoon, the May Day March here at MacArthur Park is slated to start at 3 o'clock today. They will rally here and then they will march downtown to the Grand Park in downtown LA, and that's where they will hold the rest of their rally. So there's a lot of speakers that will be talking. There's a lot of community groups that are represented. We, of course, will have all the coverage here on the KTLA Morning News. Back to you.
Thank you. We'll see you a little later this morning.
A little bit of a chill in the air.
Today is May 1st. It's May Day, and all over the world, right here in LA, people are demonstrating in support of workers' rights. KCAL 9's Tina Patel is in MacArthur Park. There was a rally there this morning, and a bigger gathering is planned for later today.
People power! People power! Rallies like this one in MacArthur Park this morning are a May Day tradition. Workers have been coming together to fight for change for more than a century.
At that time, in the 1800s, was immigrant workers from East Europe fighting for better salaries, fighting for a journey of work of 8 hours.
Now many of the immigrant workers are from Mexico and Central America, and they say they're not only fighting for fair conditions and a living wage, they're also fighting against a government that is constantly threatening deportation.
We're here to say that LA People's Power, as well as the rest of the country, is going to be out in the streets to demand that we stop being dehumanized as immigrants and as workers.
More than 70 different community organizations and labor unions are expected to participate in a downtown march later today. Monique Hernandez says she'll be there with fellow nurses and her child.
I'm excited for my 5-year-old to see how important it is to support workers of all avenues.
Organizers say it doesn't matter where you work or where you're from.
Working should be a human right. Working should provide enough for us to support our families.
People are expected to start gathering here at MacArthur Park around 3 o'clock. They will be marching through Pershing Square and end up at Ground Park. There will be some road closures around downtown. In downtown Los Angeles, Tina Patel, KCAL 9 News.
A developing story.
Community groups, labor leaders, and immigrant rights advocates are taking part in May Day marches and rallies around the world and here in Southern California. This is the KTLA 5 News at 1:30. I'm Lou Parker.
And I'm Glenn Walker. The idea behind the rallies is to call attention to the rights of workers and immigrants.
KTLA 5's Chris Wolf is live in the Westlake District, where a huge rally is expected this afternoon. Hi, Chris.
Good afternoon, you guys. All of this is expected to get rolling in about an hour and a half here at MacArthur Park. Just a few people have started to gather right now. Take a look. Labor unions, immigrant advocacy groups, and others are coordinating this annual May Day march from MacArthur Park here in the Westlake District to City Hall in downtown starting at 3 p.m. We are expecting a strong police presence as usual. This is also International Workers' Day. Let's go to a map. Demonstrators, thousands of them expected, are set to march east on 6th Street through Westlake, over across the 110 freeway and into downtown, then north along Spring Street to Grand Park and City Hall. The Los Angeles DOT provided a traffic plan for this event, which shows more than 30 street closures around the demonstration, so take note of that. These closures have already begun, including streets surrounding MacArthur Park. There was an early morning rally to kick off May Day, and KTLA was there. Participants and activists call themselves the May Day Coalition. It includes the ACLU, or American Civil Liberties Union, Southern California, Bend the Arc, Jewish Action, Central American Resource Center, Coalition for Community Control Over the Police, Coalition for Humane Immigrant Rights, or CHURLA, Communist Party USA, Equality California, Los Angeles LGBT Center, Gender Justice LA, and various labor unions, Longshore and Warehouse Union, Iron Workers, LA Black Workers Center, and United Teachers Los Angeles, among others.
We saw that when people come together, changes can happen. And with that said, we want to continue to harvest that solidarity, celebrating International Workers' Day, but then also highlighting the issues that we are dealing with now with the current administration.
And we're providing first aid to the marchers, and we're just here to show solidarity to union workers, non-union workers.
All right, let's come back out here live at the scene. More people are gathering as we speak. May Day organizers say they also want to celebrate worker victories and uphold their right to unionize and earn a living. Participants also say they want to end all forms of immigrant persecution and want voting rights for all in municipal or local elections. We will continue to follow this story throughout the day. We'll be back here shortly. For now, reporting live in MacArthur Park, Chris Wolf, KTLA 5 News.
Thank you, Chris.
Thousands of labor activists, workers, and advocacy groups marched through the heart of Los Angeles today, marking May 1st as International Workers' Day. A local march started at MacArthur Park in the Westlake District and ended in downtown LA at City Hall. Marchers demonstrated to support workers' rights and immigrant freedom. They're also calling for voting rights for everyone.
May Day is our day to speak out and to be loud. There are people in the White House who want to shut us down and shut us out and shut us up.
I'm connected to a lot of families who have been exploited and do this type of works for a living, and they're not getting like their full benefits, or they're not getting a living wage.
May Day marches for workers' rights began in the U.S. in the 1880s. The tradition quickly spread to other countries as a time when poorly paid employees were pitted against dominant factory employers and landowners.
Still ahead on the news. Thousands of people marched through downtown Los Angeles today in an annual May Day procession. Union members, immigrant rights advocates, and community activists chanting and carrying signs, sending a message to Washington. Protesters say while they come from many different backgrounds, they all have the same goals. They want jobs and they want equality.
We as nurses fight doctors, we as nurses fight hospital corporations, and we fight for patient safety.
What we want to show is that we're here to contribute, we're here to be part of the community, and we are here to be part of this nation.
The march began at MacArthur Park and ended with a rally at Grand Park across from City Hall.